The Bridge Builder. There was once a man named Arun who grew up in a small town near the river. His father was a fisherman, and his mother sold vegetables in the local market. Arun was bright and curious, always asking questions about how things worked. He dreamed of becoming an engineer so he could build bridges and roads that would connect villages like his. But life, as it often does, had other plans. The storm of struggle. When Arun finished high school, his family couldn't afford to send him to college. His father fell ill, and Arun had to work in a construction site to support his family. Every day, he carried heavy materials under the scorching sun, watching others design buildings while he did the labor. Sometimes, while resting during lunch, he would see the engineers arrive in clean shirts and helmets, holding blueprints. He admired them but also felt a quiet ache in his heart. Will I ever get there? He wondered. As months passed, his dream began to fade under the weight of survival. A moment of decision. One evening, after a long day of work, Arun sat near the riverbank. He watched the sunset reflect on the water, the same river he used to cross with his father as a child. Something inside him whispered, "You can still build bridges, just start from where you are." That night, he made a decision that changed everything. He saved a small portion of his salary every month, even if it was just a few coins. After work, he studied online lessons at a public library. He learned about architecture, engineering principles, and computer design programs, one chapter at a time. He didn't have fancy resources, but he had something more powerful: determination. The power of consistency. Arun made a strict routine. Work during the day. Study 2 hours at night. Learn one new concept every week. He tracked his progress on a small notebook titled Steps to My Dream. Whenever he felt tired or unmotivated, he would flip to the first page where he had written, "I may be slow, but I am moving forward." Slowly, his efforts began to show. He started helping the site engineers with basic calculations and learned how to use their tools. Impressed by his dedication, one of them encouraged him to apply for a training program. It wasn't easy, but Arun kept showing up day after day, even when he doubted himself. The turning point. Years later, Arun completed his certification in civil engineering. His company promoted him from laborer to assistant engineer, a moment he had once thought impossible. When he stood at a construction site with his own blueprints in hand, he looked up at the bridge being built across the same river he grew up near. For a moment, he closed his eyes and smiled. He wasn't just building bridges of steel and concrete, he was building a bridge from who he was to who he had always wanted to become. The lesson he shared. Whenever young workers came to him asking how he stayed motivated all those years, Arun would tell them, "Motivation doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you believe. You don't need to see the whole bridge. Just start laying the first stone." He explained that the key was not to wait for perfect conditions, but to make progress in imperfect ones. Because success isn't built in one day, it's built in the days when you keep going even when no one is watching. The lesson. Arun's story teaches us that motivation grows from purpose and persistence. You might start with nothing, no money, no connections, no help, but if you have faith in your dream and the courage to take small, consistent steps, one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Because in the end, the strongest bridges aren't made of steel, they're made of hope, discipline, and unshakable belief.